What's going on, guys? Patrick here. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin continuing to dump and the fact that we were prepared for this exact move to happen. We're also going to look at some more Bitcoin technical analysis as well as altcoin technical analysis. So make sure you guys stay tuned all the way until the end of the video because we have so much to cover. But before we dive into that, I want to share with you guys some of the recent trades that myself and our group were in so that you can hopefully use this and capitalize on future trades for yourself as well. So one of our trades was Ethereum, a very straightforward trade. You guys can already sort of see what happened. We broke below the EMA ribbon. It flipped bearish. We even had the confirmation because it rejected off of here again. So next thing we were looking at was something similar to this with a retest of the resistance of the EMA ribbon and how that would act as we are in the bearish trend on the 1 hour, for example, how that would act as a strong resistance and would mean that we should drop from there. Obviously, it's not going to happen 100% of the time, but play your probabilities right. You're going to be successful more often than you're unsuccessful, and that's going to make you a profitable trader. So just quickly entering this trade over here, right around this area over here, we had a following huge rejection that came in. The wick went all the way down to like over here. One massive wick that came in. Obviously, the candle closed on the 1 hour much higher. However, that wick did allow us to hit every single one of our profits for this trade, which means I was a happy guy because we made some money there. Also, with a Bitcoin trade, very similar situation going on here. Again, just keeping it very simple and finding the exact resistances and supports, and if we expect to break up or if we expect a continuation down to further lows, right? So again, very same thing. We broke below, we had the bearish flip, we rejected one time off the EMA ribbon, and then obviously next time we found a little bit of support, we started trading a little sideways, EMA ribbon came back to catch up, and we expected, although I did expect to see a little bit of a touch, we got in at the right time and we were able to capitalize on, I think this one hit 3 out of 4 targets on this move to the downside. All happening very quickly, but all of them for a good reason. Putting yourself in the right position just gives you the opportunity to make so much money in this market because this market really is uncomparable. In my opinion, you just can't compare the opportunities you got here versus some of the other markets, especially in the time frame that we really get them in this market. But if you guys are interested, if you feel like you're missing out on the opportunities, you feel like you want to take advantage of some of these trades, you want to copy my trades, then check out the first link down below in the description. I show you every single one of the trades that myself and my expert team are entering in real time in this group so that if you're a complete beginner, if you don't have time to do technical analysis or you don't know how to do technical analysis, you can simply copy our exact trades. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up, and after that, profits are taken automatically for you. So it becomes very passive. You'll get access to every one of our altcoin trades, every one of our leverage trades. You'll get access to the #1 community in the cryptocurrency space, but most importantly, for 2 weeks after you join. So for 14 days after you join, you get this whole thing. You see every one of our trades. We're not going to hide anything from you. Completely risk-free, meaning it's free, right? It's a free trial. You guys can test this whole thing out for free for whatever reason. We're not going to ask you why. Whatever reason you don't like it, no questions asked. As long as you cancel before those 14 days, you can just cancel and you'll avoid getting charged. It's as simple as that. We're breaking down all the barriers to help as many of you guys out as possible. A ton of you were in those recent trades I showed, and a lot of you guys I look forward to seeing in our future trades as well. But let's go into some Bitcoin technical analysis. I highlighted to you guys why exactly we entered those positions. Hopefully you can take that information. You can use it for your own trades as well. I know a lot of you guys have, even if you're not in the group, a lot of you guys have used the information that I've given and it's been able to work out for you. So that already makes me extremely excited and very happy to hear. If that's happened to you, let me know down below in the comments if you're using it for your own trades and it's working out well. I like to keep things ridiculously simple. So what I told you guys previously, we've been looking at this for several videos now, the fact that the daily time frame, the weekly, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, and the weekly, we're looking very different. So the 1 hour, we want to use each of these time frames to give us an idea of what's going on. And I've always mentioned to you guys, opening on the weekly time frame, I've always mentioned that we were up here and we had quite a gap between that and the EMA ribbon. So it would not surprise me if we had in the macro scale a test to come down to this range of the EMA ribbon, potentially fill that CME futures gap, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But most importantly was just the fact that this drop was not a surprise because we had been looking at it and looking for it for some time. I told you guys, if we break above 12,100, that's bullish, right? That's up. We're going 13,000, 14,000, 15,000. But we on this channel have always kept our eye open to the possibility of Bitcoin also dropping. Right? So once the 1 hour time frame flipped bearish, the 4-hour flip bearish. We started to see these things happen. The next up that we would see, the next thing we could expect to see was the weekly come back down and retest. So for everybody that, if you were watching my videos throughout the last few weeks, this should not have been a surprise to you. Hopefully you were able to capitalize in some form of this. Obviously, I showed you guys some of the trades that I was in. We didn't obviously get from the top to the bottom. That's unrealistic, but as long as you can capitalize on it, then that's all that really matters. But that's the weekly time frame. Again, still room in this support to fill that CME futures gap, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But I mean, there's not much else we can say about this, right? I mean, I've been talking about this for a while. We were looking at what would need to happen for this to happen. We kept our eyes open while everybody else was bullish, just like blindly bullish, not looking at the possibility of the other side happening. So hopefully you guys weren't too surprised by this move. But looking at the daily time frame, this is where, similar to what I was telling you guys before with a weekly time frame, how we were looking at all of these, the daily time frame, we are looking like we're breaking below the EMA ribbon, which means obviously in a pretty big time frame, we could be in a bearish trend. And you can see the last time we flipped bullish was on the 24th of April. So it's been quite some time since we've been in this overall bullish trajectory. Obviously consolidated a little bit. Then we had the next run up. Then we consolidated, but it's been ever since the 24th of April this year that we've been on this bullish trend above the EMA ribbon, and ever since around the 28th where we actually flipped bullish. Now it looks like we could break below, and if, history repeats itself where we tend to have at least decently long patterns. When we broke below this on the 26th of February, we only broke above on the 24th of April. So we usually spend some time below the EMA ribbon if we actually do have that break to the downside, and that's the most important thing here. Waiting, not only do we have the confirmation break here, but we want to see the confirmation bearish flip where, like we had the bullish flip here, right, of the ribbons. We had a bearish flip over here of the ribbons. We're looking for something very similar to happen to give us, again, 100% certainty that we're going to be in this trend for some time. But that was one of the things we were looking at when it came to the weekly time frame and why we thought that was a possibility as well. In the 4-hour time frame, this is obviously the weekly, the daily. I gave you guys exactly what I'm looking at. I need to see that flip happen on the EMA ribbon to confirm the bearish trend, and we can analyze things on a daily time frame that way once that does happen. But the 4-hour and the 1-hour, you guys will see in a second, has already had that flip, and it's seen rejections already. Now with the gap, again here, short term, what we can expect to happen is either sideways action for EMA ribbon to catch up, and I say this all the time, or just a little bit of an upwards movement to test that EMA ribbon again before we do reject back down. Usually what I have happen is if we're in a bearish trend, I usually look to catch moves like this and catch a short rather than try to either predict if this is going to go up or if it's going to trade sideways. I look more for the opportunities of bouncing off of either a support if we are above the EMA ribbon or resistance if we are below the EMA ribbon. That's just personal preference, what I've found to work the best in terms of just analyzing the supports and the resistances. So keep an eye out on that as well on the 4-hour time frame. Then the 1-hour time frame, we are currently at the support of the EMA ribbon. Again, if you just look at it, a lot of opportunities were here to allow you to catch a move like this, for example, and then again, currently at this level. So myself, the team, we're analyzing what our next steps are, and we're going to post that for everybody who is in the group so that you guys can capitalize on that as well. But as of right now, 1-hour time frame, currently at the support, right, or at the resistance right here. Obviously, resistance goes all the way up until this higher EMA ribbon. So we're going to see if we test that, potentially just reverse and kind of see how things play out on that time frame, because the 1-hour time frame, things move really fast. You want to keep an eye out on it. So it's just like something like this, you bounce off, you go up, you bounce off, you go up. Very similar thing. We would look for the reverse of that when we do have the obviously rejection going down. Little sort of a rejection, didn't really touch the EMA ribbon, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. And then we're here again with a potential of going down. So that's something I'm looking at. Again, the most important thing right now, the weekly time frame was already hit that support. The daily time frame right now to me is the biggest one we're keeping it out on if we're going to flip into that bearish EMA ribbon trend. If we're going to be below it, a confirmation with that flip, and then we're going to analyze everything in a little bit more of a bearish scenario over the next potentially a few weeks, maybe a few months, probably just a few weeks, but we'll see how that does play out. But the CME futures gap that everybody's been looking at, we've been talking about for some time, ever since, it opened on the 27th of July. So it's been some time that everyone's saying, yeah, usually these gaps tend to get filled. Now, the thing is, a lot of people, again, were very, just blindly bullish on the fact that, you know what, we had our move here, we're never coming back down to do it. And people have said this over and over and over again. And they said the reverse of this too. Mind you, when we have a gap like this and Bitcoin just drops down, we have those people saying Bitcoin's dead. It's never coming back. It's over. We're never filling that gap. And then, we come back and we fill the gap right here. So it happens both ways, just like here where we have the gap filled. Now, I'm not saying it's going to fill 100%. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is the probability of it filling is high. So we always have to keep that in mind if we are looking at the Bitcoin price and we are doing the technical analysis for the price. We have to keep in mind that the probability of this filling is huge. So we can't just neglect it. We can't just be blindly bullish or blindly bearish in any situation. But we haven't filled it yet. $9,665-ish. That's where the Bitcoin CME futures gap would be filled. Currently, we went to a low here of around $9,900. A little bit off. Wasn't quite there yet. Do we still have the possibility of it filling? 100%, especially if that daily time frame flip of the EMA ribbon comes in. That would increase our chances significantly of actually filling this CME futures gap. And then what I'm looking at right here, again, I've told you guys for some time, a trade entry in this range, right? We see the support that we have multiple times over here, right? We see that support and that should continue. We see also the fact that usually we do fill these gaps and like to have a little bit of some volatility or some movement in this area. So to me, where it fills plus also support down here, a good entry for a safe, conservative long position where you're not risking too much, you're not in a super high leverage. You can be in a 2 or 3x leverage that's still going to multiply your profits by 2 to 3x versus if you hadn't had it, maybe even 5 depending on what your situation looks like, depending on what your trade looks like. But that's something that I'm still 100% looking for and still think is possible to happen. And if we break, like I said, I'm going to repeat it again because I want it to be clear. If we have that flip of the EMA ribbon on the daily time frame, the chance of this filling increase significantly. And the chance of us filling it relatively soon increases significantly, right? So keep that in mind. Now again, altcoins really quick. We're looking at Bitcoin obviously had this major drop, 3%. It's really not that bad, but other altcoins, 5% drop, 4%, 8%. 20% from Polkadot. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what Polkadot is. I just realized it was in the top 7. I focus so much on Bitcoin and like a few of the main altcoins I personally like to trade. I don't know what Polkadot is, but Chainlink up number 5. Some crazy moves that have been going on recently. Crypto.com coin up here. On the top 10, which like I said, I haven't really kept track of who's in 10th place, who's in 9th place. So just every once in a while I'll look at it and I'll be like, damn, changes have happened. But yeah, Bitcoin down, majority of altcoins are down. Big thing to note here, the Bitcoin dominance, as always, we look at it every once in a while. Currently at this support again. If we break below this support, very bullish for altcoins. I expect altcoins to do very, very well. And if we do not break and we start coming back up, or even if we just trade sideways, that would be decent for altcoins. But if we do obviously come back up with Bitcoin dominance, that's usually when we see altcoins suffer a little more and Bitcoin perform a little better. So hopefully this does help you guys out, help you guys put yourselves in the best positions for your trades, for your portfolio. If you guys want to see more of these videos, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell so you can stay updated every time we post a new video. And the sole purpose of these videos are to help you put yourself in the best position to make money in this market. That's really it. That's all I'm here for, is to make money in the market. That's all I'm looking for. That's all the opportunities I'm looking for. And I'm trying to help out as many people as I can doing the same that don't have the time or don't have the knowledge, whatever it is. But if you guys did enjoy, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Helps the channel out a ton. And I'll see you guys next Monday for another video.